Hey there, folks. Santee at the Arizona Ghost Raiders here. We got mail.
Santee, can we see what they used to protect their clothing on the frontier? Rennee Cloutier.
Keeping clothes pristine on the wild frontier. Huh. Let's look into it.
Like today, clothing during the Victorian period ranged from functional to highly stylized. Functional was for the working class and were homespun or off-the-shelf clothing. Nevertheless, they had to last and also still look presentable. There were ways back then of extending the life of clothing. We've talked to the cowboys and the rigors of their job. Chasing cattle through cactus and brush can take its toll on fabric, so they wore leather leggings like botas or chaps to keep their pants in presentable condition. Storekeepers, barbers, blacksmiths, printers, and bartenders were known to wear aprons to protect their clothing from all the messy stuff they had to deal with. The majority of them were made of cotton to repel liquids and powders. The blacksmith would normally have one of leather. Well, there is fire and molten iron involved, and cotton clothing isn't going to protect you from it. Pioneer women's dresses were not fancy either, but frequently you see an apron on them. Heck, those ladies were baking, chopping wood, gardening, and raising babies. Bibs or aprons would certainly take the brunt of all that to keep the clothing underneath nice looking. As a kid watching Little House on the Prairie, it never occurred to me that's why they were wearing those aprons. I thought they were a fashion choice. But then again, my crush on Mary Ingalls kept me from thinking clearly.
I don't like people looking at me.
Now, the subscriber who requested this episode actually is our wardrobe supervisor at Old Tucson. She pointed out the importance of these accessories and helped me understand that there is more to history than Mary Ingalls.
And I used to think nobody suffered but me.
Homemade ingenuity occurred. When fabric wasn't available, they used flour sacks to make aprons. These aprons, like the cowboy's bandana, were multifunction. They could carry eggs or vegetables in them, and one busy mom used the thick ties to create a hammock for a baby. Overalls were used by railroaders, miners, farmers, and were seen on the frontier. Levi's was making waist overalls in 1873, which essentially protected your undergarments. Eventually, this became the jeans pants we are all familiar with. The bib variety that is still in use today could be purchased from the 1856 George N. Davis and Brother catalog. These were coated with early forms of rubber that strengthened the garment and shielded the wearer from whatever they were dealing with at their labor job. Sleeve garters were simple items that pulled your shirt sleeves up. Many store-bought shirts didn't have sleeve length choices for everyone, so if yours were too long, this would help get them out of the way of your messy work. That also goes for sleeve protectors. Basically, these went over your shirt from wrist to elbow. Commonly seen on newspaper men who dealt with ink, they're also a good choice for bartenders when dealing with liquids. I've mentioned it before, but some bartenders and barbers wore a white jacket which looked a little like a lab coat to achieve the same purpose. Canvas or linen dusters were another coat that was seen on travelers who needed to keep their clothes less dusty or muddy. Western cinema has used that heavily to pinpoint Pinkertons and hired guns. In 1876, the James Gang wore them to rob a bank in Northfield, Minnesota. That didn't end well for them, but I bet they sure looked cool. So, if you're looking to add some of these accessories to your wardrobe, I put links where you can find them in the description field down below. Are we done? Are we done?
All right, folks. Well, that's it for another episode. Thanks for watching. And as always, please like, share, and subscribe. And we'll see you on down the trail.
Do I have to wear this?